Hi guys, Dane here from CVF Off-Road. Today we're going to be doing a front bumper install on this Super Duty Ford pickup. This is an F350. These instructions will work for F250 as well, 2017 to 2022. You'll see the factory bumper's already been removed. This truck had a aftermarket bumper on it already, so we took that off. If you had a factory bumper, 4 bolts on top here for the tow hooks to remove, 2 bolts on each side of the frame rail on both sides. Pull those off, your factory bumper will come off. So we'll jump right into this video with unboxing our new bumper and get into it. All right guys, the first thing to go on is going to be our bumper brackets. On the front side, the tall side goes up, and the inside we'll have these 3 holes, the bottom holes for our winch mount. So we'll go ahead and install these on the frame rails. We got 6 bolts total. We're gonna snug those up to start with. 2 on top, 2 on each side. Go ahead and do that now. So this truck is going to get a winch as well. So the next thing to go on is going to be the winch plate mounting brackets and the winch plate itself. So this mounting bracket will have this front lip facing forward on each side. We'll reuse the 2 bolts we installed earlier on the inside for these 2 holes in the bracket. And then the bottom hole, we'll use this 3rd open hole. The winch plate can go on next. Right now everything's just snug, so it still moves a little bit. On the winch plate, this cutaway side goes towards the truck. Slide him on, get him snug down with 4 bolts. Now that all the bolts are snug for the bracket mounting assembly and the winch plate, we'll set a level on our winch plate, get him leveled out where we like it. There we go. And then check that we're even on the winch plate side to side, check our gaps on both sides, check that our mounting brackets for our driver's side and passenger side for the bumper are also equal side to side, front and back. Once everything is good and where you like it, we'll go ahead and torque everything to spec. The next thing to go on is a CVF Off-Road 12,000 pound winch. So we'll get this sucker unboxed, use the supplied hardware to mount it to the winch bracket. Before the winch goes on the truck, we'll go ahead and put our control box on the winch, screw him down, and then we'll connect these wires to the correct locations. Red to red terminal, yellow to yellow terminal, black to black terminal. This is our ground wire, goes to the neutral color terminal, and then also our ground wire to the battery goes to that neutral color terminal too. So we'll get that done now and then get it on the truck. So we'll go ahead and get the winch flipped over now. All the cables are installed. Got these square nuts that we'll install on each side. If you decide to use another winch, use their package hardware. And once these square nuts are in, we can go ahead and install onto the mounting bracket. So next we're going to route these cables up to the battery on the driver's side of this truck. I'm going to tie these two cable ends together with a little bit of masking tape and then get under the truck, find a way to fish it up. Another thing you could do here is drop a piece of mechanics wire down in a safe path or a piece of string tied to the cables and pull them up that way. When you're routing these cables, also make sure you're not touching them to like the radiator or anything else that's going to get hot and cause any damage. We can grab our cables, fish them up a little higher. At this point we can release that tape or just rip it. Route our positive cable over towards our positive terminal and our negative to our negative. We'll get a 10mm screw for this truck, or socket for this truck. Remove these two nuts and get those attached. Okay, we'll do the positive cable first. And we'll do our negative cable second. The last thing to do is going to be cable tying back any of the power wires that might touch something hot or anything that's going to move to keep it from getting caught. Once you've done that, that'll wrap up your installation of the winch for mounting and the wiring. From here, we can go on to installing the bumper. So we'll grab two of the bolt strips, install one on each side, and grab a friend to help you put the bumper on. Let's get to it. Next thing we're going to do is install this bull bar. That way once it's installed we can make our last adjustments before we tighten all the nuts down that hold the bumper in place. And that's kind of make sure that we don't run the bull bar into the grill while we're making any adjustments. So we'll get that on now, and then we'll start snugging up our bolts for the bumper and make sure we're good side to side, up and down, and then lock those down as well. So now that the bull bar is tight, we can go ahead and snug down the bolts for the bumper. We'll get them to where we can just move the bumper a little bit side to side, up and down, so we can set the gaps where we like them. So go ahead and do that now. Can raise up to where the gap's about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch. Lock down one of the bolts here. Then we'll make the same adjustment on the other side, and we can torque all bolts to spec. The final steps are going to be installing the plates in the bumper. We'll start with the front one. On this front plate first, we'll get it flipped over face down. And if your vehicle is equipped with an automatic cruise control sensor, we'll install that now. It'll go on the back end of this plate. Now that the automatic cruise control sensor is installed, we can go ahead and put the plate on the front of the bumper. We'll pull our winch rope through, give us a little room to work with. And before we install away, we'll install our connector here for the automatic cruise control as well. Next, we'll go ahead and install a cover for the ACC. Side plates will go on next. Today we're using flush mount LED lights. So the plate will go on first onto the bumper and then the lights second. Pod mount lights would attach to the back side of the plate. It's easier to mount those first on the plate and then install on the bumper. So we'll go ahead and get these on. Now the light. And we'll do the same process on the other side. Shackles will go on next. The last thing to do today is install the CVF winch shackle. All you'll need here is the supplied hardware and some snap ring pliers. We can grab our winch remote, winch up our shackle. Sure he's snug. Close up our hood. All right, guys, that's gonna wrap up the bumper installation today. Remember, if you have any technical questions or installation questions, give us a call, shoot us an email. Thanks for watching.